What's up, G.I. Joe fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we have another really fun video for you today. Down here in my museum, and I'm doing some cleaning. I had these guys out doing some work on them. And I said, you know what? Never had these guys on the stage at the same time before. And because of the unique styling of their box, these are the only 8 figures that were produced like this from Hasbro. Definitely to our information and knowledge. Let's do a video on these guys and give our new subscribers and new viewership, a chance to kind of see some of these G.I. Joes for the first time, especially if you're a new G.I. Joe collector. These are some of the G.I. Joes that if I were a new G.I. Joe collector that I would go after. They come with a ton, and I mean a ton of accessories. And this one in particular is one of my favorites. He's got the new talking technology, the new voice FX technology. This is try me. Press lightly for talking, press harder for shouting. You're going to press right there, right underneath his belt buckle area. You can press that, and the mouth opens and he talks. And this is Hasbro during this time period, the 2003, 2004 time period, right before Hasbro would close the shop and stop producing the 12-inch G.I. Joes. They were trying to save the toy line. They were trying to find ways to interact with the consumer, with the younger consumer base, fan base. It didn't work. Sadly, it didn't work. But to me, that was the charm of this particular figure right here. And this, at this time now, the outdated technology. But it was fun to know that, Hasbro was trying any and everything, everything to really connect with the younger demographic. Guys, if you're just joining us, welcome to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. We're hanging out here in the museum. We're doing some cleaning down here. These particular 8 figures were due for a checkup, a cleaning, an inspection. A part of being a museum curator and owning a museum, you're constantly checking and double checking your action figures, your collectibles. Well, you say, well, they're in the box. I mean, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is it really is. It's quite a headache being an M.I.B. collector, because you're talking about not just trying to preserve the historical factor of the action figures themselves, but you're trying to protect the box. And these are some very unique styled packaging boxes, for the simple fact that a lot of their artwork here is in cardboard. The artwork has been done in such a way where it's a part of the box, but it's cut out in a sense. So you're trying to protect all of that from bending and fading, things of that nature. You're looking here at this sticker here. You can see it's peeling right there. But for the most part, I bought it like that. This was the better box out of this. You know, when I went to the store, a lot of these figures were purchased from Toys R Us, and I believe the rest were from Walmart back in the day. But we're trying to preserve the historical factor of the entire package, figures included, which is very difficult. These are artifacts that will never be produced again. For however many that were produced of each of these figures, that's it. You'll never see them again. This is my Battalion Modar Marine figure. And who came with just a ton, an absolute ton of accessories. The spring-loaded action here to this Modar weapon. See, it all came with something that you could do something with, which was fun. Dioramas built into the packaging, things of that nature. And what I mean by that is you have behind him, and here's a good shot of him. This is our Coast Guard Harbor Security from our Security Forces line. Here's a picture of him, a big sticker here on the front, with a complete diorama here of the weapon that he uses. And that's situated behind him. It's packed behind him. This package is very heavy. So heavy, behind this box, I have a support system to hold him in place because that's how heavy he is. So he kind of leans back a lot. And they came with the gung-ho grip hands. You name it. Binoculars. Beautiful. I'm a big Coast Guard fan. So I have all the Coast Guard G.I. Joes. Look at this massive weapon he's holding here. Just fantastic. You got a little something with all of these figures, which was so cool. The playability factor on these figures, I don't know. They didn't go over well with the younger demographic for the simple fact that at this stage, time period, I should say, video games had completely taken over. You're talking about 2003, 2004. The video game boom was just in full swing. Xbox, PlayStation, you name it. So kids have just kind of lost touch with the action figure. And Hasbro, knowing this, sensing this, I believe that's one of the bigger reasons why they stopped production in around 2004, early 2005 of the 12-inch G.I. Joe figure, sadly. You see behind him, there's the parachute. Beautifully done. All these figures, G.I. Joe figures, were just beautifully done. Here's our military K9 patrol, G.I. Joe. This is a slide back weapon. Got the slide back action where he could cock the gun, arm it. Came with the K9. Beautiful sculpt on this on the dog. Guys, what do you think of our our military forces exhibit, if you will. Do you have any of these figures? Do you remember these figures? Are you looking for some of these figures? A lot of these figures, guys, you can find a lot of these guys on eBay. I personally, I would always suggest Cotswold Collectibles. They are, to me, the leaders in these action figures and the G.I. Joes. They have a massive G.I. Joe inventory. A lot of these figures will pop up on their toy website, and always at a competitive price, very affordable. Yes, are some of these figures expensive? Yes, they are. Now they are. Some aren't. Some, surprisingly, you can still get for about $30 or $40. Others are extremely expensive. You're looking at my right here. This is my John R. Fox. Generally, he goes anywhere from $100 up. Very rare. He was one of the very last figures that Hasbro released, closer to the 2004-2005 year. This particular John R. Fox figure I purchased at Toys R Us. Didn't realize that he would be so hard to find later as the years went by. Talking to fellow collectors, very, very difficult figure to locate, especially in this condition. He came with a ton of equipment, backpack, phone, you name it. This guy, he had it. Love the boots on this figure. He's a Medal of Honor recipient. Gung-ho grip, hands, binoculars, you name it. Beautiful head sculpt. Just beautiful, beautiful. All of these figures, these G.I. Joes, have a special place with me. None of these figures were bought offline. These were bought out of actual stores, like I said, out of Toys R Us and Walmart. None of these figures were bought offline. Something I'm very proud to say. So I got in at the ground level when these figures were actually being produced and retailed at toy stores, which really makes me feel even that much older now. Very old now, guys. At nearly, I'm 48 years old, and I see these figures now, and it's like, I remember when I first purchased them, years ago, decades ago. But we just want to clean these guys up a little bit and share them with you. I love this digital, as they call it. They call it a digital camo for this outfit here. Absolutely beautiful. Got his body armor. Once again, my Force Recon Marine. One of my favorites. Something about all of the black gear, very stealth in nature. The attention to detail on this weapon right here. It's got the extra clip here. It's stunning. More equipment behind there. It would be nice if Hasbro resurrected G.I. Joe. I would love to see G.I. Joe back in toy stores. For a while they did, and back in 2011 they brought out about 5 figures, G.I. Joe 12-inch figures, but it was never to be. It was just it was short-lived. The figures were very nice, very well done, but it just wasn't to be. Wasn't in the cards. My MK47 Advanced Grenader. Another one of the last figures I bought. Guys, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with us today in our museum. This is what we do. We got a day off. We're just relaxing. I'm going to grab some coffee. I'll probably be back in my museum later, doing some more videos, doing some more cleaning, some more inspections on our figures, on these beautiful, beautiful artifacts. You know the routine, guys. God bless and keep collecting.